Hey friends, it's Anne with Social Media for Churches, and I want to remind you that we can recognize and affirm that online community can be real community while still proclaiming the power of gathering in person. It does not have to be either or. In fact, it absolutely should be both and. There are those who will say that online community is not real community, and that is simply not true. People forge real community, strong community online. However, we can affirm that and live into that while still proclaiming that there is real power in gathering in person. Particularly for me, it is gathering around the table in community. I think there's a reason that the way we remember Jesus is to come to the table. There is something powerful that happens when we come to the communion table, and there is something powerful that happens when we gather around the table with one another. There is something powerful that happens when we gather together to worship in person. So both things can be true. Online community, real community. There is power that happens, powerful things, transformative things that happen when people gather in person that is not going to happen online. And we need to affirm both of those things because we do need to encourage people to have moments, to have times when we gather together in person and we have that face-to-face interaction and that in-person community, while at the same time recognizing that Sunday morning is just not going to work for a lot of people for so many different reasons. Some people have work. Sunday mornings are not free for everybody. A lot of people have work. Of course, kids' sports is the bane of every pastor's existence since they started doing sports on Sunday morning. People have health issues. People have family members with sensory issues that make in-person worship really difficult for them. And there are things we can do to help with that, but we may not be able to accommodate everyone in every situation. There are people who have been burned by the church, and it is not likely that they are going to come back. And then there are people who just need to sleep. They work hard. There are people who work 2 jobs, who work 6 days a week, and they need some rest. And for them, some Sabbath time is not having to be anywhere on a Sunday. So for a number of reasons, people are not going to come and sit their butts in our pews on Sunday morning. So our online ministry, our online presence gives us a chance to reach those people who are not going to come put their butts in our pews on Sunday morning. It helps us to stay connected with those people who come sometimes, but not very often. Did you know that Pew Resources defines a regular church attendee as someone who goes 2 or more times a month? So when they are doing their surveys and they talk about regular churchgoers, those are people who show up at least twice a month. So your social media ministry allows you to stay connected to those people who are there sometimes, but can't be there all the time. And yes, offering times and opportunities to gather outside of Sunday morning is really important. However, as someone who was a solo pastor for 20 years in chronically underfunded churches, I know there's only so much time and energy to go around. The last thing you need to do is to over-program so that you have something for everybody at every time when anybody might possibly be available. But what you can do is think intentionally and prayerfully about things you could offer, about ways your congregation might reach out and offer opportunities to gather together in person so that even people who can't be there on Sunday morning would have the opportunity to gather in community with people of your worshiping community. All of this is to say, we should never talk about social media ministry in terms of online versus in person. Those things should not be set up in competition or in opposition to one another. It is both and. Our social media ministry, our online ministry gives us the opportunity to connect with those who are never going to sit their butts in our pews. It gives us the opportunity to stay in touch with those people who come and sit in our pews sporadically. And it gives us the opportunity to encourage people without guilting them, but to encourage people to be able to have that experience of gathering in person, to have that in-person connection, which I think we all desperately need, and offer it in ways outside of Sunday morning so that more people can engage. So never again do I want to hear you say online versus in person. No, no, no. We don't talk like that. We talk about our entire ministry, and part of that is our online and social media ministry. Not in opposition to what happens on Sunday morning, but something that supports it and complements it and encourages it.